They told me this mission would change everything. But when you're standing in an airport, clutching a cooler containing someone's life, a man's future, change feels more like pressure. Crushing, silent pressure. Dr. Gray, this whole operation's riding on you, Dr. Franco had said before I left. That kidney, that's Jarek Wolf's lifeline. Get it there safe. I nodded then because there was no room for doubt. The Wolf family didn't tolerate failure. They weren't just powerful, they owned power. Armaments, politics, influence, a dynasty built on control. And now that dynasty depended on me making one flawless delivery. My flight was boarding for Miami. 2 hours in the air. 2 hours between a dying man and another chance at life. I checked my watch. Every second felt like a heartbeat I was stealing from my patient. As I made my way to the gate, I overheard people around me laughing, gossiping, living. I couldn't. I had one focus: keep the kidney safe, stay unseen, land on time. And then chaos found me. A woman was standing by the boarding gate, her voice slicing through the noise. "This plane isn't leaving without my mother," she yelled, blocking the doorway. The flight attendant tried reasoning, but she wasn't having it. The entire cabin was frozen. "Ma'am, please, the flight's about to depart." I said, "We're not moving until my mom's on this plane." Her entitled tone made my pulse tighten. We were already running late, and now this. I stepped forward, clutching the medical case close. "Please," I said, keeping my voice even. "I'm transporting a human kidney. A man's life depends on it. We need to leave." She turned to me, cold, mocking. "A kidney? What are you, some bottom-rung courier? Maybe he can wait. If he's that fragile, maybe he wasn't meant to last." My jaw clenched. I'd seen arrogance before, but never this cruel. "A few minutes could mean the difference between life and death," I told her. She smirked, tossing a wad of cash at me. "Here, money solves everything, doesn't it? 40 grand? Satisfied?" Gasps rippled through the crowd. I didn't pick it up. "Money doesn't pay for everything," I said quietly. But it didn't matter. The flight crew finally intervened, and her mother appeared, frail, confused, apologizing as they took their seats. We took off 10 minutes late. 10 minutes that could kill a man. Half an hour later, the air was thin and silent. The same woman, her name was Jessica, started screaming again. Mom, what's wrong?" Her mother was pale, gasping for breath. I heard the panic in her voice before I even looked up. "Somebody help!" The flight attendant called out for a doctor. My pulse spiked. Damn it. I hesitated. The kidney. I couldn't risk exposure, couldn't delay another second. But the oath I swore, do no harm. "I'm a doctor," I said, rising. Jessica's face shifted from arrogance to desperate pleading. "Please, I'll pay anything. Just save her." I knelt beside the older woman, checking her vitals. "She's in cardiac arrest. I need space." The cabin was chaos. People whispered, recording with their phones. I pressed down hard on her chest, counting compressions. 1, 2, 3. Then, a gasp. She coughed, her body jerking back to life. Relief washed through me like oxygen. Jessica sobbed, clutching her mother's hand. For a moment, I saw something human in her, until she turned to me and hissed, "You broke her rib." "It's a risk of CPR," I said calmly, "but your mother's alive." She wasn't listening. "You're worthless. You hurt her." I stepped back. The cabin murmured. Someone shouted, "He just saved her life," but Jessica's rage was louder. Then she did something I'll never forget. She demanded I kneel, to slap myself as an apology. "You humiliated me," she spat. "Now make it up to me." I stared at her, stunned. "You can't be serious." Her lips curled. "Do it, or this box of yours? I'll smash it right now." The blood drained from my face. "Don't," I said. "That case holds a kidney, for Derek Wolf, your fiancé's grandfather. You destroy that, he dies." She froze, then laughed. "Nice try, doctor. You expect me to believe that?" "Check the label," I said. "You'll see." But she didn't check. She only grinned wider. "You think I'm bluffing?" She raised the cooler over her head. That's when the turbulence hit. The plane lurched violently. The case slipped. My heart stopped, but I caught it midair, clutching it tight. For a second, I thought it was over, until Jessica leaned close and whispered, "You have no idea who you're dealing with." And in that moment, I believed her. The plane steadied after that violent jolt, but my pulse didn't. I sat frozen, the kidney case locked between my hands like a bomb. Jessica sneered, brushing off her designer blouse as if turbulence itself had insulted her. "You said this kidney's for Derek Wolf?" she mocked. "Funny, that's my fiancé's grandfather. Guess what? He's fine. You're lying." I met her glare. Not anymore, I said. He's dying right now, and that's the only thing that can save him. She didn't even blink. You must think I'm stupid. Then she waved her phone. Eric, hey babe, you'll never believe it. Some scammer on board's pretending he's got a kidney for your grandpa. Through the tinny speaker came a man's voice, arrogant and lazy. That's bullshit. If my grandpa were sick, I'd know. Handle it, Jess. The call ended, and she smiled like she'd just won a game. See, doctor, you picked the wrong family to lie about. When we landed in Miami, I moved fast, ignoring the murmurs that followed me. My contact, Ada Kane, was supposed to meet me at the gate with security. Instead, Jessica and her mother were waiting. She blocked my path again. You're not going anywhere until you apologize. I don't have time for this, I said, stepping around her. She snatched the case. You do now. The airport spun into motion, passengers shouting, security yelling, and Ada appearing through the crowd, eyes wide when she saw what was happening. Miss, hand that over, now! Ada's voice was sharp, commanding. Jessica laughed. Oh, look, another one of his little cronies. I felt my stomach drop. Ada, don't, she doesn't understand who she's threatening. But Jessica lifted the cooler higher, daring us. Say sorry, both of you, or I smash it. Ada took a step forward, calm but deadly. Inside that box is your fiancé's grandfather's kidney. You break it, you'll destroy the Wolf family. The arrogance drained from Jessica's face for just a second. Then she covered it with a smirk. You two are hilarious. Keep the scam going. Maybe Netflix will buy it. That was when Eric's brother showed up. Big, broad, tattooed, the kind of man who lived for violence. You're the ones who touched my family? He growled. Ada's hand went to her earpiece. Dr. Gray, move. But before we could, he lunged. Fists, shouting, chaos. The cooler slammed against my chest as I fell. The insulation cracked. I felt the chill slip from inside. Ada dragged me up. We're out of time. We sprinted through the terminal, Jessica's shrieks echoing behind us. Outside, Ada's car was waiting. I climbed in, clutching the case as if holding on to a dying heartbeat. The radio crackled. Clinic's ready. 10 minutes out. 10 minutes. If the kidney warmed past threshold, Derek Wolf was as good as gone. We sped down the highway, but headlights appeared in the rear view. Jessica and her brother in pursuit. Ada cursed under her breath. They're forcing us off the road. Who are these people? I shouted. The Wolf family's fiancé and her psycho brother, she hissed. They think we attacked them. The car jolted as they rammed us from behind. Pull over! Jessica screamed from her window. You think you can hit me and run? Ada's knuckles whitened around the wheel. You idiots have no idea what you're doing. Then she slammed the brakes, spun sideways, and everything went white. The airbags burst. Glass rained across my lap. When my vision cleared, Ada was already crawling out, bruised but alive. Go, she yelled. Get to the clinic. I stumbled into the night air, my leg bleeding, the case still against my chest. The other car screeched to a stop beside us. Jessica stormed out, mascara streaked, fury glowing like wildfire. You lying bastard, she shouted, grabbing a piece of glass. You hit my mother. You humiliated me. Now I'll ruin you. Ada stepped between us. Back off, Jessica. You touch him again and... Jessica swung. Ada caught her arm, twisted, and for the first time that night, Jessica screamed not from anger, but pain. Her brother charged. I saw the flash of a gun tucked under his jacket. My heart stopped. Then, headlights exploded from behind us, a convoy, black SUVs, armed guards. A voice boomed, Wolf family, stand down. Jessica froze. Wait, what? One of the men stepped out, stern-faced. We're here for Dr. Gray and Ada Kane. Mr. Matt Wolf is waiting. Ada exhaled. Finally. I followed them into the vehicle, shaking. Jessica screamed after us, You'll pay for this. As we drove off, I looked at the broken cooler in my lap. Outer insulation's shot, I said quietly. But the internal refrigeration's intact. If we get to the clinic within 40 minutes, I can still save it. Ada nodded. We'll make it. But she didn't see what I saw, blood trickling down her arm, exhaustion dulling her eyes. She had risked everything for me. For a man she barely knew. For a stranger carrying a box that could change the fate of a family, powerful enough to destroy her. Somewhere behind us, Jessica was still screaming. And I had a sinking feeling her story with the Wolf family was far from over. The clinic lights were blinding. My shoes stuck to the tile, wet from blood and rain. Ada stumbled beside me, her shirt torn, one hand pressed to her ribs. Dr. Gray, she said, breathless. Matt Wolf's waiting in the operating wing. Go, I'll handle the security team. I didn't argue. I ran. When the automatic doors slid open, I saw the faces of surgeons already suited up, instruments laid out, monitors humming. The air smelled of antiseptic and fear. Prep the patient, I said, my voice cracking with urgency. We're out of time. Matt Wolf, Derek's son, stood in the corner, powerful, composed, but I could see the panic trembling beneath that facade. Is it intact? He asked. Barely, I replied. But if we move fast, he has a chance. He nodded once. Then move. For a moment, I thought we'd made it. I thought the madness was over, but fate had other plans. Outside, a commotion erupted. Shouting, the sound of tires screeching. Ada's voice through the glass, then silence. I looked up just as Eric Wolf, Derek's grandson, stormed into the hallway, dragging Jessica and her mother behind him. Dad! Eric barked. What the hell is this? You brought these lowlifes here. They attacked Jessica at the airport. Matt's face hardened. You did what? Jessica stepped forward, all venom and drama. They assaulted me and tried to scam us with some fake kidney delivery. I was just protecting the Wolf family name. Matt froze. Then, very quietly, he asked, Where are they now? Eric pointed at us proudly. Right there, in the trunk. You can thank me later. And just like that, the world tipped on its head. Matt's expression shifted from disbelief to horror. You beat them? Jessica smiled nervously. I thought they were lying. You said Grandpa was fine. He didn't let her finish. The crack of his hand across her face echoed through the hall. You idiots nearly destroyed the Wolf family. Eric flinched. Dad. Matt rounded on him, shaking with fury. That man you had beaten, he's the surgeon I personally brought to save your grandfather's life. The words hit the room like thunder. Jessica's jaw dropped. Her mother paled. I pushed myself upright from where I'd been thrown to the floor. My cheek was bleeding, my hands trembling. But I was alive. The kidney's still here, I whispered. Let me work. Matt turned to me, voice breaking. Please, doctor, save him. I looked down at the cooler. The indicator light flickered weakly, internal temperature barely holding. We made it to the operating room with seconds to spare. My hands moved on instinct. Incision, connection, flush. For 3 long hours, I fought death itself, and for a while, I thought we'd won. Derek Wolf's pulse steadied. His body took the graft. The monitors sang a fragile rhythm of life. But fate doesn't forgive lost time. The rejection began 2 hours later. The kidney's tissue was damaged, not fatally, but enough to spark an immune storm. The delay on the tarmac, the fight, the crash, all of it had cost us. When Matt Wolf burst into the room again, I saw the question in his eyes before he asked it. My father? I swallowed hard. We did everything we could. His body couldn't take the strain. The silence that followed was unbearable. Then Eric's voice cracked it open. You killed him! He lunged at me, but his father stopped him with a single punch that sent him reeling. He didn't kill him, you did, Matt roared. Jessica sobbed, mascara streaking down her cheeks. No, please, it's not true. I met Matt's eyes. It was them, I said quietly. They delayed the flight, they attacked Ada, they damaged the cooler, we lost precious time. He turned to his son. Is that true? Eric hesitated. Jessica grabbed his arm, whispering frantic excuses, but Matt stepped closer, voice low and trembling with rage. Look at me, is it true? Eric broke. I didn't know. Jessica screamed. He's lying, Her words were cut off by Matt's hand slamming into the wall beside her head. You both cost me my father. He turned away, breathing hard. Get them out of my sight. Security moved fast. Jessica clawed and shrieked. Eric shouted his innocence, but neither mattered anymore. The Wolf dynasty, once unshakable, was crumbling. When it was over, Matt stood in the doorway of the OR, staring at his father's still body. You saved his life once, he murmured. Then my family destroyed it. I didn't answer. What could I say? Outside, the storm had passed. The first light of dawn spilled across the windows, pale and hollow. Ada limped into the hall, bandaged but breathing. He's gone? She asked quietly. I nodded. I'm sorry. She sighed. The kind of sigh that carries too much weight for one person to bear. You did your job, doctor, more than anyone else would have. But her voice trembled. She knew, like I did, that some losses don't heal. Later, as I walked out into the parking lot, the sun rose over Miami. I could still hear Jessica's voice echoing in my head, her laughter, her cruelty, her disbelief, and I wondered if she realized what she'd destroyed. The Wolf family's empire collapsed within weeks. Their fortune, their power, their name, all gone with the man who built it. And me? I went back to my practice, carrying the weight of what happened that night, the weight of minutes lost to arrogance. I still wonder if I could have done more. But deep down, I know the truth. I did everything I could.